Alright, gamers, welcome. It has been a while indeed. Don't know exactly how active I'm going to be on YouTube with the new season starting. I just know I'm definitely wanting to play, and I'll try and get around to uploading videos. But for now, we have Aphelios Nautilus into Jin Sona. And Aphelios at the moment is actually very, very broken. I could actually tell that from the very first time I hit a crit on a minion and saw the damage. Literally, that was all it took for me to be like, oh yeah, Aphelios is busted, holy crap. And this game is actually going to be a great example of that because it starts off extremely doomed to the point where I was like, you know what, this game is going to be a free loss, but I can still tell Aphelios is broken anyway. And then it ended up not being a free loss. You'll see, you'll see. We're going to kind of zoom forward through the game a little bit because really this was a boring game for the vast majority, so we're just going to skip through and show the most interesting bits, and then we'll get to the late game where you can see just how insane Aphelios is right now. Okay, so we're getting a gank from Singed here. I got purple, so perfect for the gank setup. Making sure to land that green Q on Jin while he's grounded, so he definitely can't flash out of it to dodge it. So I'm not wasting that damage. Here I kind of wanted to use my Conqueror stacks to kill Sona. Probably not the smartest because Singed is kind of low there, and I'm obviously just gonna get cleaned up here, and I didn't even reset the Conqueror stacks anyway. So not the greatest play. I probably should have just been happy with the one kill that I had, and then now the whiff state is kind of screwed for me, and it means I can't get a BF sword, but oh well. Instead, we're just going to go for the pickaxe and the longsword. And I'm not really super sure what is supposed to be the best first item right now. Maybe it's still Infinity Edge, to be honest, is my thought. But it could also be Storm Razor. I haven't had the chance to test that yet because I don't base on a first item BF sword usually. Not in the 2 games I've played so far anyway. So there's going to be an engage attempt from Nautilus here. He manages to go on Jin. I probably could have been in a little bit better position for this, but we can just use purple to get rid of purple there. Gives us blue white, allows me to clean them up. I've got Triumph, which is super sick for these fights. I've also got Conqueror, also really good in these extended fights. Why am I running Conqueror? No particular reason. I've just been enjoying it recently, even before the season. It is the best scaling option of all the runes you could run. It definitely scales a lot better than PTA, and that doesn't mean that it's the best choice. It just means, you know, it just scales best, and I do like scaling, so I've just been running it for that reason. And Triumph in particular, we are running just because we have an engage support in Nautilus, so I know that the lane is going to be a little bit chaotic. And in case there was a fight like that, that is exactly why I would want to run Triumph, to make sure that I can just squeeze out as much advantage as possible out of these fights. Because if I just have to like back off sooner, or I can't go in at all because I don't have the HP to survive if I don't have Triumph, that's quite limiting considering the win condition or the playstyle of something like Nautilus. So it's best to run Triumph in those circumstances. And then also here, we're just going to go for the Shredded Dirt, because again, I couldn't get my BF sword. So if I just end up basing on, or like end up getting a Collector as my first item, that's perfectly fine. But I'm also open to just doing the good old bonus build path. So if I get a BF sword, then I'll do that, and then I can do Infinity Edge first item. Okay, so here, I actually just wanted to clear this ward. I assumed that's what Nautilus wanted to do as well. I did check, you know, that he has a red sweeper available. He did. So, like, they all see us roaming towards mid because he didn't clear the ward. But, oh well, like, either way, I can see here, Zilean currently not in position to farm this wave, and there's also just a free plating for the taking here, so I'm just like, yeah, I was kind of only going into the river to help Nautilus anyway, but as you can see, just the really free plating there. And it ends up being a small fight as well, maybe? No, not quite. And yeah, we just ended up going back bot lane. I suddenly realized, oh, actually, there's no need to return to bot lane through that angle, though. I can actually just collapse on Jin here, because he's obviously looking like a free kill. I think he also realized that as well, though, because, I mean, obviously, sadly, because we never cleared that ward before, he can now see that I'm on my way. Somehow he missed it before, but yeah, he ends up just executing because he knows he can't survive. So, smart from him, but yeah, still means he's going to miss out on some farm. Going to be better for me than for him, for sure. And in the end, after shoving in a few waves, we're going to be able to get that BF sword. So that puts us on track for getting that Infinity Edge. So I was worried at first that the Infinity Edge rush might be kind of dead, or like the components build path dead in general, because all I knew from the patch notes was that Infinity Edge had lost some crit damage So I assumed that meant that they were making it more of a late game item. But actually, they did buff the AD by 10. They did increase the gold cost by 10 as well, but still, 10 AD is a much more early game focused stat than plus 10% crit damage anyway. So it's perfectly fine to still rush Infinity Edge. It's probably actually even better than it was in the previous patch. The only question of whether it would actually be the best first item or not is whether something new is even better, because, you know, it's certainly still better than Collector in my opinion. You can still do Collector if you just can't afford that BF sword, but if you can do Infinity Edge, then in my opinion you do want to do that if possible. Unless of course it turns out something like Storm Razor turns out to be the best new first item choice. But again, that's also dependent on a BF sword, so I haven't had a chance to test that yet because it doesn't really lend itself as well to the components build path. To the components build path, it has to be Infinity Edge Rush. Okay, so we got Nautilus chasing in the rush behind me, so I just go for a little trade here, see what happens, trying to bait them a little bit. Might be a bit too much, we'll see. Doing good damage, but I did feel the need to back off a little bit there. I was getting cooldowns up, but I mean, Jhin also, as soon as he got 4th shot, would be able to execute me really fast, so didn't want to risk it. Here, I can tell Nautilus isn't gonna die, so I don't need to worry about him needing to dodge, so he can just block everything for me, so I figured, yeah, I know I'm gonna have to recall here. They're gonna be sustaining and we're not, so we're just gonna recall, get the Crit Cloak. Crit Cloak, by the way, much better early item component compared to how it used to be. It's still probably weaker than AD in the early game, but it doesn't feel so bad anymore since crit is now 200% damage and not 175%. So I'm perfectly satisfied with that base. Certainly always would value a Crit Cloak there more than Berserkers. Even if maybe in the short term Berserkers could be a stronger power spike, and even, I mean, I'm unsure about that even. But, like, just the fact that Crit Cloak builds into the Infinity Edge and Berserkers don't, that makes it a no-brainer for me. And we also managed to cancel Jin's base there, so that's pretty convenient. Alright, and now, after just a little bit of farming, we've got the bot lane item quest, so you can see we've got an extra item slot, the boots. I'll just... oh, yeah, it's over there if you can see. So, don't get to use that right now, but something I did realize, something felt really weird here, and I was like, I swear there's something I can buy, but I can't think what it is. And then I realized it's daggers, because my boots aren't in my inventory, like I wasn't thinking, do I have tier 1 boots, do I have tier 2 boots? I couldn't, so yeah, it just made me completely forget that I still needed to build Berserkers. So it was driving me nuts. I was like, I swear there's something I usually buy in these situations. But I just couldn't figure out that it was daggers for Berserkers. So weird. Anyway, don't know how Zillion ended up there, but he took my wave. Pretty sad. Because I've got the bot lane item quest as well, by the way, I'm getting +1 gold for every single last hit, so makes me, like, I don't know, 1 gold extra sad. Decided to kill the tower there real fast, but it still obviously means Aurelia gets to complete her TP, unfortunately, so do as much damage as I can there. Almost got a double. Oh well. This Aurelia is quite a problem this game, and will continue to be quite a problem. And so we're just gonna continue with Collector second item. It may not scale as well as Lord Dominic's, but since they don't really seem to be the kind of comp that would build a whole lot of early armor, it's just completely fine to go for the Collector. And if I was expecting their comp to build a lot of early armor, then I just probably never would have done this Reddit Dirk in the first place. Unless I really was just rushing Collector and not doing the whole components build path thing, but then that would be complicated because then my only option would be either Lord Dominic's second item or Infinity Edge second item, but ideally you would want both if the enemies are going to be tanky. Not just one or the other. Okay, and so we're quickly approaching the stage of the game where you're going to see, like, just in one single hit, you will be like, holy shit, Aphelios is broken. Nothing really important happens, but you will be like, holy shit, Aphelios is broken. Watch this shit. Look at Sona's HP there. How did she almost die? That is absolutely nuts. She was taking a little bit of damage from the Singe Poison as well, I think. But, like, what? Like, that is clearly not the amount of damage that one Aphelios auto is supposed to deal. Crazy. And on top of that, like, even before that, I just saw how much damage my autos were, or how much damage my crits were dealing to minions, and I was like, wow, this is gonna be absurd onto champions. And then, yeah, then that Sona moment happened, and I was like, holy crap, yeah, Aphelios is busted this patch. So we've got Aurelia coming in for a little flank there. I am certainly not taking that fight. She is strong enough that she will completely decimate me and Zillion. Even just 1v2, but also there's obviously that Jhin there, so Start to run away. Obviously, I got seen by that ward. So I'm just kind of like trying to guess here, like, ooh, where would they not have vision? Or like, where would I really be most likely to check if she's chasing me? She probably... My logic here was she probably wouldn't assume that I would run into this really obvious spot. So that's why I recalled there, even though it was really obvious. And that's the moment where I finally remembered. Holy crap, I still haven't finished Berserkers. That's what I could have built earlier. Yeah, a bit silly that I didn't just build the double dagger when I could, but oh well. Okay, this is either Nautilus baiting or Nautilus getting caught. We don't know yet, but it will be exciting to find out. And that Silas is just tanking an absolute crap load. Kind of illegal what happened there, but oh well. Happens. As you can see, 18-minute Aphelios, not so bonkers broken. I mean, still way more damage than he's supposed to be doing at this stage of the game, but compared to other champions, certainly in 8 kills, 11 CS per minute Aurelia, I'm not going to be having that much impact over the game yet. And boy, I gotta say, do I love this new plating system. I mean, look at that. 160 gold I got there at 20 minutes into the game just from hitting a... hang on. There's a fight here. So my logic here is I can get rid of blue and use red, but I kind of didn't expect Sona to want to use ult in what to her probably looked like such a free fight. So it ended up delaying me really hard. Fortunately, I ended up surviving, at least for a little bit because of Zillion ult, but yeah, didn't go so great. My bad. Like I said, I thought Sona would think that was such a free fight she wouldn't bother ulting, but could be a genius or a dumbass. 50-50. Alright, so there's some shenanigans going on in the river with my team and the enemy team, but for now I'm just worried about mid-prio, so I'm just pushing in the wave. Bear in mind, if my team happened to like lose a 5v4 there, for example, that mid lane turret would be completely free from me. So I would always prioritize playing for mid-prio there. Unfortunately, the enemy bot lane does it as well, so there's no free turret for me. And now there's no way for me to push, so I have to start trying to join my team. But as you can see, I mean, the fight is already over. At this point, this fight is already long lost. I should have already started rotating towards mid, because again, that turret is just looking really free right now, especially with me having red-white. At this point, though, I'm too far away from mid, and I'm obviously not going to flank them as Aphelios, so we just start recalling, because that's going to be the quickest way to get into an actual position where we can actually influence the game somehow. Which is, you know, defending this turret. But they back off. Alright, so here we're going to just go ahead and farm a wave. Rumble is obviously in a position where he can try and flank us. But I mean, I've got red-white, and now I've still got green-white. So I have checkpoints for now, but even if they run out, I mean, I know that I can still 1v1 him with these weapons, so I'm not afraid. Go for that fight. As soon as I can stop getting Calibrum auto resets, we just switch to white. But in the meantime, as long as he's standing on sentry, we just stick to green because we actually do more DPS that way. With the way that Calibrum auto attack resets work. But anyway, my team kind of getting decimated over on the other side of the map, so we're going to have to recall if we want a chance of defending this inhib. Or just seeing what can be done. We're getting close to Lord Dominic's at least, so almost on the 3-item spike. And Nautilus just... I actually didn't notice this at the time, but he just didn't try and defend. Yeah, who knows? Like, this Silas obviously went really, really hard for me. As to use Zanya's. If I had a Nautilus with me, who knows? Would he have still gone that hard and died? Would he have played it safer? I don't know, but kind of a shame that my Nautilus was just kind of not trying to do anything. Until that point, where once again I get stunned, can't finish off Silas, he keeps healing. Yikes. Is that an actual concern they could end the game here, but I think you guys already know that if the game ended here, I would not be making this video. That being said, I don't actually remember what happens here, so it's going to be a surprise for us both. Yeah, religious disrespect recalls. The rest still trying to kill my team. And Aurelia's actually TPing back in. It really does look like they would end the game. I'm so sorry for the spoilers, guys. Singe, likewise, I mean, he could just be recalling to defend, but you can see half my team has already given up in this game. The Nautilus just didn't want to bother defending. Singe is doing Raptors there, instead of recalling and getting HP back so he could try and defend, because the enemies are literally trying to end the game. His priority clearly should be defending. But anyways. It works out. We just lose an inhib. And again, I'm getting close to my 3rd-item spike, so I'm going to be really strong when that happens. And here we go. I have the gold for my... Not Lord Dominic's, actually. I ended up going for Mortal Reminder just because of their comp. They got a lot of healing between the Silas, the Aurelia, the Sona, the Redemption, even the Aurelia's Death's Dance. Just a whole bunch of stuff. So I figured I would get more value out of worth a reminder. I did try Lord Dominic's with the new Giant Slayer passive in my previous game, which was a Jinx game. Actually, that was a game where I needed anti-heal even more than I did in this game. But I just wanted to test, like, how much damage would I feel myself doing from the Giant Slayer passive in that Jinx game. Turns out the answer is not so much. It was definitely not as valuable as anti-heal in a game where anti-heal is very valuable. So in this game, I'd already like done any testing that I wanted to do. I realized, yeah, in a game where you need anti-heal, in theory, anybody can apply anti-heal, but you know, you don't want to rely on your team to apply it. It's just much safer to make sure you have anti-heal on yourself as well. Gets some auto there, awkward. And also seems to be a fight potentially about to happen here, so we're gonna walk up, follow up, see if there's anything we can do. The enemies actually just did Baron while this fight is happening, so I mean, that's a good sign for us. We know half their team just already isn't there for now, which gives us a chance to get that kill on Rumble. Now we hopefully get to kill Irelia, which if we do, should be a pretty big kill. Boom. So the Collector got us the kill on Rumble, and now probably was going to get that kill either way, but certainly it maximizes the odds that that 1000 gold shutdown goes on to me, the Aphelios. So that is really huge, really huge. And I mean, seriously, like if that had not happened, this game could have gone entirely different. Probably would have gone entirely different. I don't think I would win this game if I didn't have that 1000 gold shutdown, so pretty important sequence of events there. Alright, so after that shutdown and a bunch more farming, time to get our items. So I was actually going to do Phantom Dancer, that's what it started building towards, but I kind of realized, I don't know what reminded me, but there was the option of Stormrazor, which I could have done as first item, but I didn't get the chance because I didn't get to base on an early BF sword. So I kind of realized the stat profile of Stormrazor actually kind of fits a little bit better here, especially because I want AD to burst down somebody like Irelia really fast. I did also want DPS, which is why I wanted Phantom Dancer. But, you know, Stormrazor already does give 20% attack speed. And coupled with 50 AD or 55 AD, whatever it is, because Aphelios scales so much better with AD than with attack speed, that is just going to be more DPS. Look at that damage. If I'd hit him with a third sentry shot, he would have been dead there. Yeah, I mean, officially at this point, we're a 4-item Aphelios, 100% crit chance, so we're fully scaled. At this point, we are actually a huge threat. A way bigger threat than Aphelios would have been on previous patches. Damage is just ridiculous. Still have to be scared of Irelia, though. End up choosing to flash that. I do have a Zillion around, so maybe it was wrong. Maybe I was just kind of playing too scared there, because I did have the Zillion ult to protect me. But most of my team just wasn't around, so I didn't want to take the risk of getting stunned by the Irelia E. And then realizing that I was screwed when it was too late to get out. Okay, so we placed the sentry. It's doing a lot of damage to Irelia. She kind of just gets melted there. She probably should have just stayed out of the sentry when Singed flung her out. And now I really want to get rid of green so I can use blue ult, but thankfully managed to get those last 2 autos off. I was really desperate. I was like, green Q is just not gonna come up in time. I have 2 ammo on my green. I need to find a way to get into auto attack range of champions to get rid of green in time to get a blue ult. And as you can see, I mean, look at that replay. Look at this. Just in time. That was a triple flash, but 3 people flashed into me. That's actually so funny, because if only one of them had flashed, they would have tanked the entire blue ult, and it would not have done AoE to 3 different people. But because all 3 of them flashed, it's the same effect as if none of them flashed. Like, it accomplished 0. So funny. And yeah, now I just randomly have 3,700 gold. 4,000 gold now. And we're gonna get a Drake. What a game changer that was. The scoreboard at the time as well was something like 15 to 32. So that game absolutely was looking insanely doomed. I was already getting ready to like post on the Aphelios mains Discord. Like, my first game didn't go too well, guys, but man, Aphelios felt great. Like, I was literally thinking of that I was gonna say something like that. And then that moment happened and I was like, oh, Jesus, wait, we have a chance of winning. At this point, I'm not even sure what I want to do. I'm thinking like, huh, what should my final item be? I decided Kraken Slayer. I was like, okay, sure, but I don't necessarily think these components would be better than just getting a Doran's Blade, like holding onto Doran's Blade and getting an elixir. There's gonna be a long time before I can actually finish my item, so I decided I'd rather prioritize being as strong as possible right now, rather than building towards Kraken Slayer. So we hold on to Doran's Blade and just go for the elixir instead. Okay, so we see Rumble getting into flank position here. Probably already fucked up. I don't have flash ups. I'm really easy to catch out here. We don't even have the full team around. We'll see what we can do with this. For now, I'm not caught out at least, and the enemies might be over pushing here. I just need to make sure I don't get knocked up by that Nautilus ult. Who shot that Sona? Why not? 1000 damage crit onto a champion. So sadly, Salas blocked a lot of damage with the Zhonya's there. And here I just kind of realized, like, if I let Aurelia zone me out of the fight is lost, even if I survive Aurelia. So I decided I'm gonna red ult Aurelia just to survive. It ended up being kind of useless. I wanted to heal any damage she would do preemptively. But ended up being useless because she actually kind of waited before going in, so my ult did nothing. Either way, I knew that the only way I was gonna actually impact this fight was just kind of walking past the Aurelia to try and melt the Sylas. And yeah, we managed to do that, killed the Sylas. Got a bit lucky, I think. I don't know if I really got stunned or if she used her W. But she just didn't finish me when she could have, and then because I had enough time to get rid of blue with my blue Q and get white instead, then from melee range with white, I just absolutely melt her, and then we can kill the Jhin as well. And yeah, just absolutely ridiculous fight. The second ridiculous fight in a row. Once we get the 4 items on Aphelios. And yeah, I mean, either one of those fights, I would just not have won in the previous season, but Aphelios truly is broken right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.